This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Anyone wanting to buy the base version of the Cybertruck is out of luck. Reuters reports that Tesla is no longer taking orders for it, which started at $61,000. Only versions that start at $100,000 are available for immediate order. According to Cox Automotive, Tesla sold about 4,800 Cybertrucks in July and has sold 16,000 in total. At one point, Tesla had over 2 million reservations for the truck and expected to sell up to 200,000 a year. But Cox says it will be difficult for Tesla to even maintain its current sales volume because the market for $100,000 vehicles is really small. And in fact, Tesla is struggling to maintain its overall sales volume in the U.S. According to a forecast from W.P. Brown Consulting, Tesla's U.S. sales will be down 1.5% for the full year, while BEVs from other manufacturers will be up 23%. Brown Consulting sees total BEV sales coming in at 1.3 million units for the full year, down from the 1.47 million in its previous forecast. It says high interest rates and high vehicle prices have lowered demand, and also predicts that inventory for all vehicles will grow to 3.8 million units by December, representing 85 days of supply. Brown says July sales came in weaker than automakers expected, and that North American production in the second half of this year will be lower than it was last year. And that market weakness is prompting Stellantis to lay off up to 2,450 assembly line workers at its Warren truck plant. In July, it went from 2 shifts down to 1, and now it's going to drop the Ram 1500 Classic, which is the previous generation of the truck that it kept around as a lower price option. But with high inventory levels at the brand and the new 2025 Ram 1500 starting to hit the market, Stellantis decided to drop the Classic. The indefinite layoffs will start on October 8th, and Stellantis says production of the truck will come to an end later this year. Warren Truck, which is a little north of Detroit, also makes the Jeep Wagoneer and currently employs about 3,900 people, most of whom are UAW members. Jaguar could end up being out of the new car market for a full year, and it's all part of its transition to BEVs. Jag already stopped production of the XE, XF, and F-Type, and production of the E-Pace and I-Pace stops at the end of the year. Only the F-Pace remains in its lineup, but production of that model ends next year, and Jag won't start delivering its first EVs until 2026, so dealers won't have any new cars to sell in some markets in Europe for a year. Instead, they'll focus on selling used vehicles and after-sales service. Jaguar will reveal a concept of its first EV this December in the U.S. It's a 4-door GT with an expected range of 435 miles and will cost £100,000 or about $127,000. At the beginning of the year, Porsche started rolling out a new infotainment system for the Boxster, Cayman, and Macan in China that's specifically designed for that market. Customers there expect to have much better voice recognition and integration of popular apps. But in order to pull it off, Porsche had to go to a Chinese supplier. We think this was originally a project for Cariad, but VW's own software division probably couldn't keep up. A project like this normally takes Porsche 3 years, but the models needed the updates fast to keep up with competition, so it cut the schedule down to 18 months. And also wanted to do it without making any physical changes to the cars. Porsche didn't name the supplier who helped pull it off, only calling them the supplier or the company in its press release. But it did say that it makes head units, screens, and rear seat entertainment, and previously worked for Volkswagen.
When we did our research for the talent that we need for this program, Michigan was really the top of the list. In order to be successful in this space, you really have to have the right people, the right mindset, the right environment.
The first EV from the Honda Group to come off its own in-house developed dedicated platform will make its debut any moment or day now at the Monterey Car Week in California. Acura teased this picture of a concept it's calling a quote-unquote segment-defying SUV that's a preview for a future model. Its other EVs, the Honda Prologue and Acura ZDX, are based on GM's Ultium platform, but the production version of this SUV will be the first on its dedicated EV platform and will be made at its EV hub in Ohio. Who ever heard of a battery company having its own new car showroom? Well, CATL just opened a showroom in the city of Chengdu that has over 100 EVs from 50 different brands. The idea is to give car shoppers the opportunity to check out all kinds of electrics under one roof. CATL calls it a new energy lifestyle plaza, and while it doesn't sell any cars, it's staffed with experts who can recommend what to buy based on a shopper's budget and how they'll use the car. And speaking of China, extended range EVs, or EREVs, are the hottest segment in the market right now, so more and more automakers are adding more and more models. Dongfeng unveiled the 007 EREV that's priced at $18,331. It offers 125 miles of pure BEV range or 745 total miles when combined with its 1.5-liter range-extending engine. And when the battery is depleted, the gas engine delivers 56 miles to the gallon based on the CLTC rating. Changan unveiled the EREV version of its pickup truck, the Nevo E07, which was already introduced as a pure battery electric. It actually looks like an SUV, but the tailgate will fold down like a pickup. The EREV version gets a 39 kilowatt-hour LFP battery pack that delivers 125 miles of BEV range. It will reportedly come with 11 cameras, 5 radars, 12 ultrasonic sensors, and 2 LiDARs for a high level of assisted driving. Car News China says it will likely be priced at $37,600. And Wuling came out with this EREV, the Hongguang, which is also offered in pure ICE and pure BEV versions. The EREV is powered by a 1.5-liter engine and has a small 8.5 kilowatt-hour LFP battery pack that delivers 26 miles of pure BEV range. Those are pretty modest numbers, but keep in mind that this car only starts at $6,500. And keep an eye on these EREV models and the EREV segment. We think there's going to be more copying of this technology. It gives customers a pure BEV option with a gas engine to ease any range anxiety. Also, EREVs are cheaper to manufacture than PHEVs because they get rid of the transmission, differential, and drive shaft. Despite all the impressive news and technology coming out of China, we may be seeing the first cracks starting to appear in the Chinese automotive industry. For quite some time, we've been saying that China has too many car companies, making too many models, and has too much overcapacity. And now comes news that EV maker HiPhi filed for bankruptcy. It suspended production back in February because it wasn't able to pay suppliers due to poor sales. It sold fewer than 8,000 EVs last year. A court in China approved its restructuring plans, and it will appoint an administrator to oversee the process. And while that may address its structural costs, it's unlikely to solve its sales problem. And that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for tuning in.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. MEDC, where Michigan businesses are powering the future of mobility. And by Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.
Intrepid's NeoVi Pi, allowing automotive engineers to interface, capture, and monitor vehicle data using Raspberry Pi. As a matter of fact, it's the automotive industry's first robust platform for Raspberry Pi, featuring Intrepid CAN-FD technology and Raspberry Pi Compute Module. The NeoVi Pi is designed for automotive environments, allowing use with relative power ranges and applications. In addition, the NeoVi Pi enables you to use the Raspberry Pi for Compute while avoiding additional development to adapt to network environments. That makes the NeoVi Pi powerful enough to solve your vehicle network problems, yet small enough to fit in your backpack. One of many intrepid tools used for developing zonal architecture and software-defined vehicles.
Knowing that when it's time to unplug, your tires were built to get you to the place you recharge. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Turanza EV tires with a 50,000-mile limited warranty.